Here in Zagreb and continental Croatia, winters are traditionally cold, grey, with very often foggy mornings. There used to be a lot more snow. Now every year is different. This December and January we have snow again. It lasts very briefly in the cities, but stays longer in the surrounding countryside. To enjoy a little bit more of this winter magic, one typical grey, boring day in January, I decided to escape from the city and to go to Plitvice Lakes National Park, or in Croatian, Plitvice Jezera. It's not my first time here. I've been coming to Plitvice for over 25 years. My name is Daria, and since the year 2000, I work as a tour manager in Croatia and around Europe, and as a local guide in Zagreb and surroundings. So I've been to Plitvice many times in different seasons. Winter is not a typical time to come, but that Thursday I decided to do just that. I did check the official National Park website for the information about conditions in the park. So I know that there still should be some snow. And according to the weather forecast, I know that it could be some sun during the day, but not much. But in nature, all that can change quite quickly, especially in places like Plitvice and especially in winter times. It can be sunny, like on these photos that a friend of mine took few days earlier. But you can also find a thick fog, or you cannot enter the canyon because of the snow or high water on the trails. So traveling towards Plitvice for about 2 hours, I hope for the best. I was in entrance 1 already around 8:15 in the morning. As you can see, there is no sign of summer crowds. And I'm lucky because the rangers allowed entry into the canyon today. So I will do program B. It will take me in a circular walk for about 2 to 3 hours, maybe even a bit longer if I do it slowly. Immediately after the entrance, the path leads to a lookout spot with a spectacular view. The Plitvice stream descends from the cliff and forms the big waterfall. And on the left side, the Korana River begins its journey. This is their meeting point, their confluence, or in Croatian language, sastavci. It is certainly one of the most spectacular places in the park. And if you ask me, it's worth coming even just for this. Of course, I want to go closer to the waterfalls. And today, there is not too much snow and ice on the trails, so that is possible. The markings are very clear, and moving through the park is easy, especially now in winter when only this trail is open. The view of the big waterfall makes me want to take some pictures, but I won't do that just yet. I follow the zigzag trail that leads downhill, and what amazes me is that there is no one except me around. Now I have almost reached the lake, and from here I can see the trails that will take me first across the lake to the other side of the canyon, then to the right to the big waterfall, and then I will walk back to the left-hand side up the canyon and towards more waterfalls. Each lake is marked, and the board also shows information about the surface area, depth, and altitude. So I leave the forest behind me and cross the lake on a wooden paths built above the water. As you can see, small waterfalls are within reach. And apart from the murmur of the water, the only sound is my footsteps in the snow. Really nice. The stairs are a part where you have to be careful, but it pays off. In a moment, I arrive above the waterfall itself and the beginning of the Korana River. This river starts right here with this waterfall and heads towards the interior of Croatia. It is only 134 kilometers or 83 miles long, but it is really interesting and creates some beautiful landscapes. Just around the corner, the big waterfall awaits me. At 78 meters or 256 feet, this is the highest waterfall in Croatia. It is always beautiful, no matter the time of the year. But now with snow, lots of water and ice, it is really special. And absolutely amazing, I have all this just for myself. I will enjoy for a moment and take a few photos. Now I'm back on trail, and it seems like I'm not alone anymore. A group of Koreans are coming. As you can see, they also don't have any particular problems with walking on the trails. For people without walking disabilities, as long as you are careful and watch the stairs, there is no problem. I'm now starting to climb up the canyon. Very soon, another waterfall. Then more stairs and another lake. The group has caught up with me, but they are hurrying on, so I will just wait for a moment and let them go so I can enjoy the silence again. Just enough time for a few more photos. On the rock on the left-hand side, there are flowers for Milka Trnina, an opera singer from the late 19th and early 20th century. She was a woman with a fascinating biography. Born in a small Croatian village as a daughter of a miller, she still managed to build an international career. She was especially appreciated for her roles in Wagner's operas, but Puccini also adored her as Tosca. She was a member of a Royal Opera in Munich for 10 years, but performed in a number of European theaters and had very successful tours in the United States, where she was also the first Tosca and Kundry at the Metropolitan Opera. Already during her active career, she got involved in raising money for development of Plitvice Lakes as a place for visitors. To thank her, these beautiful waterfalls were named after her. Next to Lake Milanovac, there is another memorial plaque. Academic Gustav Janacek. It says Czech by birth, Croat by life and work. He was professor of chemistry at the University of Zagreb, but also one of the founders of the Society for Arrangement and Beautification of Plitvice Lakes, established in 1893. He was the vice president of the society for more than 35 years. And with that, one of those who already then saw the potential for visitors to come, but also the necessity to preserve this beautiful landscape for the future. Now I have reached the bridge that leads to Lake Kozjak. Koza in Croatian language means goat, so it would be like a goat lake. I can already see the electric boat that will take me across the lake, but I have to walk for a few more minutes to reach P3, the rest stop. Today is not exactly the time for a picnic, but one of the restaurants is open, so before getting on the boat, I need at least a hot coffee or tea. While waiting for the boat, I enjoy company of ducks. There are also a few more visitors, but really not many. Except that Korean group that moved quite quickly, the whole time in the park I saw less than 20 people walking around. Boat is an open space, so it's really not warm. Temperature is around freezing. But the view around makes you forget the cold. Shades of grey, melancholy, nature is sleeping. It's about 15 minutes drive to just relax and daydream. And of course, take few photos. These waterfalls are actually the beginning of the upper lakes, but that part of the park is closed in the winter. The boat brought me to the other side of the lake, to P1. Now I have to climb shortly to reach entrance 2. National Park hotels are right above, and to tell you the truth, I envy the lucky ones who can now just go and rest for a bit or jump into the sauna. I will hop on this vehicle that we call train, and after a few minutes of riding through the forest, I'm now on the path above the canyon. The lakes and waterfalls are now below me, but the view is still beautiful. These are the waterfalls named after Milka Trnina, the opera singer, and people below are showing me how high I really am. This trail above the canyon is always open. Even when the weather conditions do not allow to enter into the canyon, visitors can still walk along here. It is mostly in the winter and early spring times when the level of the water in the canyon can be high. It is also ideal for those who cannot walk inside the canyon at any time of the year. Some people are simply afraid to use the trails over the water. Or maybe they have some mobility problems and all those stairs are simply too much for them. This trail is more or less flat and leads through the forest with several viewpoints that reveal views of the lakes and waterfalls. So still nice views and you can take some great photos. And the same trail took me back to the starting point. It took me good 3.5 hours, but I was not in a hurry. I walked really slowly and did one longer break. Just as I was getting ready to leave, the sun started to break through. Is it just me, or do you see the heart too? The heart among the clouds. No, it's not a Photoshop. It was there only for a moment. But what a treat for the end. As I look at a few more photos that I took, I would say on a winter day like this, it's definitely worth coming. It was a beautiful, gray day. Thank you for watching.